All right, so this is going to be something that I would refer to as your daily maintenance in regards to working on movement patterns throughout your golf swing. So what we've got right here is we've got either a double alignment stick or this extendable stick that is here, what would represent something that's parallel to the target line. We've got this stick as well that is right here to represent the center of where my spine is. And then I've got a golf ball right in the middle of this, where this would be roughly the width of my foot from toe to heel. Now, the other thing that I've got is I have a stick right here on the trail side of my pelvis. And this is so that I can recognize whether I'm moving linear too early, how much I'm turning, and where the pelvis is actually moving in space. So what you'll do is, like, I've got an 8-iron here. We can practice this with driver. You can practice this with a wedge. You can practice it with a mid-iron, really any club. So if I was a wedge, I'd be a little closer. If I was a driver, I'd be a little bit further away. But this is going to be a very functional movement pattern and also a tracing drill for how we want to get the body to move functionally. So we'll set up in here. Alignment stick again is right in the middle of us. Now I'm going to take another pair of alignment sticks, duct tape them together, and where I'm going to place this is I'm going to place this on my shoulder line. So I'd be set up right here. I'm going to place this on my shoulder line. And now from here, we're going to get into our setup position. And very important right here again is we're going to feel very grounded in regards to what the feet are doing. So our very first move right here is we're going to be taking the lead side of this stick and we're going to start working it down, creating more lead side lateral flexion as we start to trace this right here. Then we're going to combine that with extension of the trail side. So the spine is starting to extend and laterally flex as we trace right here. So this is how far I could go in regards to my lateral flexion and my extension of my spine. Again, lateral flexion is this, extension would be this. So this is what's starting the movement pattern of our golf swing. So we're going lateral flexion, extension as far as we can go. And now from here, we're going to start taking the spine, the lower spine, our tailbone, and we're going to start turning as we continue to trace this. And what you're going to notice from a face-on view right here is this stick is going to be roughly parallel to the center of where my feet are. So this is the direction that everything's starting to work, and you can see I'm creating space with the trail side of my hip right there. So what is happening right here is we're rotating the pelvis, we're laterally flexing the lead side, and we're extending the spine to create all of our movement patterns in regards to our backswing. Now, the reason why we want the feet so engaged right here is because once the pelvis starts to turn, so once we get past this right here and we start to turn the pelvis is what is creating all of the knee and femur movements, which is also getting our feet to torque and twist against the ground. This is building up a really, really good connection to how the feet are going to be supportive throughout our motion. So we're going to be here. We're going to do this one in pieces. So lateral flexion, extension to here as we trace. Turn the pelvis and continue to trace until this line is at least a parallel. And now from here, I'm going to start to retrace this back to center. So you can see the pelvis is still staying on my trail side where it was. And we're going to continue to trace to here until this line is parallel to where my feet is. And now I can feel most of my pressure has moved forward without a big hip bump or slide or anything like that. So a lot of this is feeling what we're doing in connection with the ground, how we're laterally flexing and extending the spine, as well as how we're rotating from our lower spine, which would be our tailbone and our sacrum right there, okay? Our tailbone is a very good analogy. The sacrum is actually what's creating the movement right there. So we'd be here. So if I do this in slow pieces again, we're going to go lateral flex, extend to here, turn the pelvis the rest of the way, trace it back down to parallel, trace the right side through, and I can feel all of my pressure now is in my lead hip right here, while I've got more lateral flexion with the trail side as the spine is starting to move into an extended position. This would be the very first place that I would start. I would do this in pieces, just the way that we explained it. and do these slow at first. Once you get good at doing these slow, then we're going to start to move it into a slower motion and cadence. So I'd be here, and this is doing it now without stopping. I'm going to do that again. And then we can start to move it faster. And this is literally what I would call your daily maintenance for understanding how to, 1, feel ground pressure, 2, rotate from the pelvis, 3, learn what lateral flexion and side bend is, both lead side and trail side, and also how we're using spine extension right here. And then we've got a feedback station to tell us that the pelvis is not swaying completely right here. So this is a drill. Every single player out there, I promise you this, you can do this on a daily basis for 10 plus minutes. It's never going to hurt you. This is only going to help you understand what you're supposed to do from a movement standpoint for the entire body throughout your entire motion. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Click that link below to subscribe. If you haven't, go ahead and click the other link I have right there. Watch that video on understanding setup for free. Look out for these videos every single Friday coming to you on YouTube. Thanks.